FYP Production.
She fell in love with the bad guy, but she loves my intentions. And nothing feels better than the moment we're sinning, no. Nothing feels better than the moment we're kissing. I say I'll love her for forever, in the morning forget her. She was raised under money, growing up she couldn't see the poor. Save my number in her phone under me or more. Look me in my eyes and ask what I need her for. So in this game of life she just might keep a score. And darkness is clouding my judgment. Marijuana clouds cause the loud is so pungent. But me, I haven't touched a drug since that trait of white. I live my life before the fight like I'm Dana White. The block is hot like that boy band with Nick Lachey. Hold my heart in your hands like a Fabergé. Precious. We was young, dumb, and reckless. Living like the devil couldn't catch us.
FYP.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another. Thank you for tuning in and coming back. But if this is your first time with us, allow me to welcome you to the YSO podcast. Podcast by the youth, for the youth, being the voice of the youth by giving a voice to the youth. As you know, if you are a returning viewer, I am Emmanuel Lyons, also known as Saint Even, and we have the rest of the hosts and panel.
Welcome. What's up, y'all? Good evening. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Auntie?
I'm good. I'm Amber Lyons, CEO and founder from Pain to Purpose, and this is a Healing Pain Through the Arts production. Welcome. What's up, y'all?
Everybody else, they identifiers.
I was about to say, I thought y'all were frozen for a second.
Yeah, there's something kooky going on Facebook.
Okay. Everybody, it's Ashton again.
Wait, what is Christian like moving, or is he
frozen?
Yeah, something is
He's
going
moving
on.
in like 2-bit and 24-bit. Okay.
I'm back now. I don't know what happened. Like it sped up and
Look like there's technical difficulties on Facebook. It's looking green.
Green.
Like I don't see us. I see. Says video has no sound. That's on my side, but it's not showing us. It's actually showing craziness. Yeah. Let me ask you, what y'all seeing? What y'all seeing out there? Y'all seeing us?
I see us.
I'm on Facebook and I can see us.
You can?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it's just me then. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
You just broke it.
What we doing though?
There we go. Introductions. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. It's your boy Christian. You already know, another day. We back doing what it do.
Yes, indeed, and we back. And you know what I'm saying, if you was here 2 weeks ago, then you already know what we talking about. If you've seen the promo, then you already know what we talking about. But like I said, if this is your first time tuning into the Youth Speak Out podcast, then allow me to catch you up. We are doing part 2 to talking about relationships and dating, of course, amongst the youth. And the first little tidbit we have is some information from our CEO and visionary about a particular subject. I'm gonna hand it to her, and then we gonna nosedive into the questionnaires and the politics and all of that.
All right. Well, I had we shared some information earlier this week in relation to some benefits of non-sexual interactions that people should be experiencing on a daily basis, and that is hugging. So when we're talking about relationships and dating, we know that we live in a very over-sexualized generation and society. So with COVID-19 going on and people being social distance and being away from each other, some people live alone. Some people, are in the houses with their spouses or their children or their whoever it is that they live with, but they're not necessarily engaging with a hug or an embrace on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about just that little, I'm talking about giving them a hug that they can feel. Why are we talking about this? As part of dating, a lot of times PDA, public displays of affection and hugging and things like that, hand holding, or, something, that may not be that big on your radar. But we want you to know that there are medical benefits to hugging. The nurturing, there's 10 benefits to hugging. If you're supposed to get a hug, at least 8 hugs a day. Did y'all know that? You're supposed to get at least 8 hugs a day? That's a lot of hugs. But imagine going without any hugs every day.
I don't have to.
What you say, nephew?
I don't have to imagine. I do.
See, exactly. So sometimes, like when we go to church and we do love in action, I be saying, this is the only hug some people get some week, so all week long. But hugs are beneficial. The nurturing touch of a hug builds trust and a sense of safety. This helps and opens up honest communication. That's one. Another one is hugs instantly boost oxytocin levels, which heal feelings and loneliness, isolation, and anger. Did y'all know that? Holding a hug for an extended time lifts serotonin levels, elevating the mood. Serotonin, there you go, serotonin levels, elevating mood. That's the third benefit. The fourth benefit, hugs strengthen the immune system. We in COVID-19, they talking about building the immune system. We need to be hugging every day. We should be getting our 8 hugs every day during COVID-19. The gentle pressure of the sternum and the emotional discharge this creates activates the solar plexus chakra. This stimulates the thymus gland, which regulates and balances the body's production of white blood cells. The next benefit is hugging boosts self-esteem. It begins when we're born and infants and is embedded in our nervous system as adults. Hugs therefore connect us to our ability to self-love. The next benefit is hugging relaxes the muscles. Hugging releases tension in the body. Have you ever been so uptight and then somebody give you a hug and you just let it go all in their arms, had a rough day or something like that? So it's important for us. It releases tension in the body. Hugs can take away pain. They soothe aches by increasing circulation into the soft tissues. The next benefit is hugs balance the nervous system. Sensations are created on the skin, which stimulates nerve endings. Our 8th benefit is they teach us how to give and receive. They educate us on how love flows both ways. It's an exchange, okay? Hugs are much like meditation and laughter. They teach us to let go and be present in the moment. We're always on our phones. We're always so busy. We're always gone. We're on this. We have to let go and just relax and be in that moment. They encourage us to flow with the energy of life. And the last benefit, the 10th benefit, is the energy exchange between people hugging is an investment in the relationship. It encourages empathy and understanding. And it's synergistic, which is more likely to result in a win-win outcomes. Virginia Satir, a respected family therapist, once said, "We need 4 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, and 12 hugs a day for growth. 8 or more might seem like a bit much, but when they are all striving to complete health care, career training, why not shoot high? We can all use all the love we can get." And that is missing in the dating world today and in life in general. So I would admonish you to get as many hugs as you can. That's my spiel.
That's hard to do for 2 reasons. Obviously, we're in a global pandemic. I tried to hug somebody in they kind of like did like that, and I was like, my feelings are hurt. Even though I don't do that, it wasn't like that. It was just like that's how you feel, but you know, you forget really easily because I'm naturally, you know, I'm a hugger. When I see people that I know, I usually embrace them. Like, yo, what's going on? How you doing? And yeah, but I didn't know all that. I didn't know all the scientific stuff. You said a lot of big words that were kind of hard to follow. I understood a few of them.
Well, you hear the benefits that are beneficial in hugging, right? And we can be hug deprived. You know, especially we got COVID going on. We're not talking about just going up hugging people in COVID, no. But people in your home, people in your surrounding that are in your space that you're spending time with on a daily basis. We can walk around our houses every day and never get a hug from our spouse, our children. Let's hug one another. It's beneficial. And if you have children out there, please hug them every day and tell them that you love them. Back to the dating.
Shout out to all the people who live alone like me.
That me.
Hey.
Even
yeah.
hugging was also banned. It was labeled as PDA. And I was, so we couldn't.
School?
Yeah, we couldn't hug each other.
Yeah,
and that was a very common way of greeting in elementary and middle school, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, because that can lead to other things. People say somebody touched them inappropriately. You have to. No,
more so just people actually just wanting to be touched inappropriately, and so
you have to know your surrounding. Base it on your surrounding. I'm mainly talking about really right now because we are separated by social distancing within your own family.
Oh, okay. In school, I probably got about 8 hugs a day. I had about 8 friends, maybe.
Well, I know y'all are huggers.
No, I'm not.
I ain't talking about you.
When you say y'all,
Christian and Drew.
People don't know who the y'all is when you say y'all.
You're right. Well, I was responded to Andrew. So yeah, they're huggers. I'm a hugger.
You got people in tune. So you got to speak with them.
You're right. I am a hugger.
But so yeah, those were your hug facts coming straight from our CEO and founder. If you haven't been hugged today, I guess hug someone. Unless you don't have their consent, do not force a hug upon anyone.
No.
But yeah, so like we said, you know, this is part 2 to relationships and dating. You know, 2 weeks ago, it got intense. It got live. It got loud. There was a lot of voices and opinions and thought processes, and mainly because we were talking about mainly sex and that part of relationships and dating, and it got, you know, deep. If you haven't seen that, go check out that episode on our YouTube. But this week we want to talk about something that's two things that are very specific necessarily to our generation right now, in the way that they manifest themselves. So we gonna the first thing we're gonna talk about is the illustrious talking stage. Okay, now our generation has seemingly created a new term for a particular step in the dating process, and it's called talking. The illustrious Bro, is there a horror film happening?
Sorry about that, y'all.
All right. That sounded like a Stanley Kubrick score. All right. Back to what else? Yeah. So we've come up with this new term, basically, you know, inspired by social media, online dating, and the generation of teenagers with access to the internet, which is us. Talking was formed. Now, many people dispute over the validity of talking or if it's just dating rebranded. So my first question that we're going to really dive into and discuss is, how do you personally define talking?
Okay, I'll go. Really, to me, talking is just like dating around. You're just like you're getting to know someone. You can be talking to multiple people at the same time until you specify that you want to be like either girlfriend and boyfriend or like exclusively talking to one person. But it's just the stage where you're getting to know somebody. A lot of people now try to stretch the talking stage out to like 6, 7, 8 months so that they don't have any like they don't have to take any responsibility. They can't be like condemned if they are found talking to somebody else, having sex with somebody else, whatever. So they try to push it out as far as they can, and I personally don't like that. But
Whoa,
yeah,
that was strange.
what's happening?
Consider the question was, what do I consider talking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, Mom, I'm in the middle of talking.
What's going on?
Nothing.
No,
Okay.
with the screen is okay.
Okay. So basically, the way I define talking is I feel like if when it comes down to it's all about communication. It's all about communication. To know that you're talking to somebody, you could be talking to more than one person at a time. Talking isn't anything more to me than just getting to know somebody and seeing if you really want to, make the step to go into a relationship. I feel like that's one thing the older generation didn't really like do because of the fact that, to use a phone that would cost money. And if, you're a kid and your mother or father is working 1 or 2 jobs and it's like, you better not just be on the phone for no reason because it cost money back then. So they would, usually just go on in a few days and be like, hey, you're my boyfriend or girlfriend. And they're okay. But now we have the time to really like sit down and talk to people 10, 15 miles away throughout the day. And so honestly, I just feel like talking is the stage in which you get to know a person, see, the way they think, kind of pick their brain a little bit. Then, what it comes out to, it comes out to.
Now, I personally don't know how to define talking because I think that talking, it could be synonymous or used in the same sense as dating, because you could be dating multiple people. If you're talking, I think if you're talking to someone that you said you were getting to know them, when you're dating someone, you're doing the same thing. So I think that the talking stage could be basically simultaneous, not simultaneously, but synonymous with the dating stage. Like you're getting to know this person. Now in the talking stage, do y'all not go on dates? Do y'all just simply talk? I
mean, it depends. It depends if you apply pressure that way.
And then
it depends.
So you go from talking to dating?
If I have the conversation with you, yes, I want to be your boyfriend. Then yeah.
Wait, so dating to you is in a relationship?
Yeah. Well, I guess yeah, because that's how when people used to say, "Oh, so and so and so and so are dating," that would usually mean they're in a relationship. I never usually thought about it as just going on dates.
Yeah. See, to me, dating is like you're getting to know this person before you get to the point where you ask them to be in a relationship with you, and then from that point, you guys are in a relationship.
Okay.
So I think that for me, the talking stage is dating, and then
for most people,
yeah, and then you go from there.
All right. Now, my personal definition of talking, I have to. I'm bleeding a little bit into the next questions, but it's all right. My definition of talking is basically similar to y'all's in that it's getting to know one another. But I believe that it's kind of a preliminary getting to know one another before dating. I think that talking is when like there's someone that you guys have a shared interest in just getting to know one another, but it doesn't necessarily have to it's not officially communicated if this is going somewhere. You guys are feeling each other out. And I think dating is the point where you guys are intentionally like getting to know each other with romantic in a romantic context and bubble, with the potential to then get to the point of being in a relationship. And so I see talking as like dating's little cousin, if you will. And that's why I think that I think you can date multiple people, but I think that dating has so much intentionality to it that dating multiple people usually just like ends up at some point somebody's gonna end up in a cahoot. But I think when you're talking, it's less likely of a cahoot because, like you said, Ashton, there's really no responsibility to one another. We're just getting to know each other. Now the next two questions kind of go hand in hand because they are: do you think the talking step is necessary? And if it is, how long should it last? Now, Ashton, you already started to kind of allude to that, and we had a user ask the question. We already had it queued up. Great minds think alike. Is the talking step necessary to happen? And whether it is necessary or isn't, how long? And when I say how long, what is the maximum amount of time you should be talking to someone per your own definition of it?
So, so per my definition, with mine being talking is dating, I would think the minimum you should date somebody before you get into a relationship with them is at least 5 months. Like I figure after 5 months, you should know, okay, I like this person and I know them semi well enough to know how this is going to go, what they like, what they don't like, our similarities, our differences, how our communication is, if they're loyal, you know, all of that, all of those things. So I feel like at the end of 5 months, you should know at least whether or not you want to, you know, get into a relationship with them, an exclusive relationship with them. And I think it is necessary because you don't want to meet somebody and then the next day, like, oh yeah, you're my girlfriend or you're my boyfriend. I think that's just.
Know some people who do.
Me too.
It's very scary.
Me too. I think it's just a recipe for disaster. I mean, unless you make it work, but.
So let me ask a question. The 5 months is for what? Dating, talking and dating, or talking?
Christian,
dating?
for Christian, they are synonymous. Talking and dating are the same thing. So, yeah, because we can't just use one definition because talking doesn't have one definition. For each person, talking is different. So per each one of our personal definitions.
You said per your personal definition. So for mine, talking is dating. So for me, I date you at least 5 months before, you know, we make this thing official. Before I post you on Instagram.
Get it on the flow.
Okay, that's okay.
Now, personally, because I haven't experienced where the talking stage lasts more than 5, 8. It is bad because it's bad because I spent that much time investing in a relationship that lasted 1 month.
Oh, wow.
So I spent the max of 9 months dealing with this individual and 8 months of that talking to the person. So I feel like the talking stage is very, very, very short. Because then you're not wasting your life. Like that's important, especially because we're talking to youth. You have school to worry about. I was 3 hours to the left of Georgia, going to a university, worrying about somebody here in Georgia. Now, because I am who I am and I cared, I wanted to make sure everything was okay here. You know what I mean? But I had responsibilities that I neglected because I was focusing on stuff here. So if I would have maxed 3 months, I think that would have been part of the first semester.
And that's for talking.
Yeah, just talking. And a max 3 months just for talking. I would have been 100% fine. But yeah.
I kind of see, I feel that. I think my maximum for talking is probably 2, maybe 3 months if there's like factors that make it a little bit like hitchy, like maybe you know, y'all's communication isn't like very consistent. Like maybe y'all not talking every single day, or maybe you guys aren't spending physical time or anything like that. So maybe it'll stretch to 3 around there. But because for me, talking is a little preliminary to dating, because for me personally, I think you can date multiple people, but I just think that dating, once you get into the dating stage, it's like I could and want to be with you, but we're not ready for it yet. And so for me, because that's how I feel about dating, talking should be around 2 months so that then you can date for maybe 2 or so more, 2+ more. I think anywhere between 4 months, I think 4 months is a really good mark for where I'm like, okay, either you're someone who I can be in a relationship with, you know what I mean? Or, you know, we spent a good, third of the year rocking, but, some thirds aren't all thirds, if you know what I mean? And so then you go your separate ways. So I'd say like 1 to 2 for talking, and then spend that other 2 to 3 dating if you guys make it to that stage. And then after that, you know what I mean, if it's serious, at that point, I feel like at 4 months, one of y'all is probably at a point where you're like, I'm gonna need you to get rid of any of the possible hoes that's out there and lock in on just me. And then if y'all both on that page, cool. But if one not on that page, then it's like, you ain't you're not good enough to be the franchise player. You know what I mean? I got somebody else who's putting up more buckets. Just gonna be real, And so then you gotta have that conversation. But yeah, so that's what I say the maximum for talking is. And I do think it's a necessary step in today's day and age because we are so technology based. I think if something happened and the internet stopped existing, then maybe not, we'd go back to like going steady and going to diners, and then we'd get kicked out of them but with the way this current generation is, I think talking is kind of necessary.
I feel the same way. I think it's necessary too. My definition of talking is the same as Christians. And from my own personal experience, I know if I like someone like really soon. And usually I don't like to talk or date multiple people because I don't like having to tell one of them that I don't want to continue talking to them. It's just weird. I don't like it. So once I pick one, I'm with that one. And my maximum for talking is I'll give you like at the most 3 months. And that's still really iffy. Because if I'm talking to you, I'm really investing time. Like we're hanging out probably at least 2 times a week. We're talking all day. We're FaceTiming. Like we're basically already together in my head. I'm just waiting for you to ask me. So I'm giving you like 3 months. And after that, it's no. But I think it depends on the people, because sometimes it may take you a while to like someone enough to want to be with them. And other times you may click just like that from the beginning and just know that you don't want to entertain anybody else. So I think it depends on the 2 people who are actually in that stage too. Because one person is probably always going to be ready a lot sooner than the other.
Can you put that question back up, Auntie?
Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good question because I don't because for me personally, talking is dating. So
yeah.
I guess that question would be more for Andrew and Emmanuel.
The question that makes this a different question than most questions is the word activities. So
we here.
So, for the generation that we are currently talking about, because of the way everything is portrayed on social media, movies, everything that we consume, literally everything, whether it be hearing about it on Sunday in a negative way or hearing about it somewhere else in a more positive way, or being at a sleepover with 5-6 of your friends and somehow, some way there's girls in the neighborhood or boys in the neighborhood, stuff. The activities that for our generation that define the difference, unfortunately, is sex. And a lot of young people are really only dating to have sex. Like they're literally only getting in relationships so they can have sex with one person and not worry about all the other factors that you have to worry about. and of course, still they fail at that. Yeah, it's the result of, you know, kind of what we talked about in the last episode, the fact that we're not educated enough, to the fact that the way certain activities were treated to us and like taught about to us were mainly to implement not the right ideas. They didn't really educate us. They just kind of say, beware, 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 stay away, caution, caution, caution. And I see you saying, but wait, E, what's up? You trying to chime in?
Oh no, I was singing "Beware" by Big Sean because you.
I thought you was like, but wait though. I thought you had something to try. I thought you had something to throw in there. But yeah, so that is why you say it like that? Why you put it like that?
That's an interesting way to.
Yeah, Look, that's what I was saying. I said a lot of young people, unfortunately, have that as their intention. A lot of my friends that I talk to, they do talk about getting married, but they are well within the operating within the fact that they are young. And even if they do get a boyfriend or girlfriend, they might just cheat on them a few times. And because
you just said that so right. They just might
that's how they treat it. That's really how they treat it. It'd be like, bro, I'm young. It's like and I'm like, so you just know you're not gonna marry this girl? And he's just like, if I do, I won't cheat then. I'm like, but you're cheating now. So I'm like, I
got a few homies.
But like, I'm just trying to see the difference, bro. You got to look at it the same way. Like, when you're married, the only difference is the ring on your finger, like,
and legal stuff.
Yeah, and legal stuff. But I mean, personally, I feel like that's a precedent. You can't do that at that point. Exactly.
I think to answer that question, I agree with you, Drew, in the fact that like the activity that really like is, I guess, a marker or a divide is sex. However, I don't even think it's necessarily that activity is reserved for one or the other. I know people who are just talking who are having sex, and I know people who are dating who are having sex. The difference isn't necessarily the activity, but the mind state and the mindset whilst doing said activity. Because while you're talking, whether you are or are not smashing a person you're talking to, while you're talking, for the way that I define it and the way that the people I know who define it commonly, that sex is just sex. It's no more unique or special or connected to them than if they were to find a shady corner and pay a hardworking night salesman or woman a fee. It's for some loin time. It's the same thing. Like there is no description, emotional and romantic connection that they're connecting to an activity. But I think when they step into dating, there is, because they see that person as a person who could potentially be their future boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, etc., etc. And so I think that's like a big thing. And I think a big issue with our generation is people, whether people look at talking and dating as the same, or the people who are like me and Drew, who kind of see them as a little bit separate. And so instead of 2 steps like dating, then relationship, there's 3: talking, dating, relationship. Regardless, people move from phase to phase without communicating. Because I know very recently, actually, this happened. A girl that I know who was like, she was in a relationship, committed, exclusive relationship with a dude who I knew, who told people, yeah, I talked to her. And she wasn't the only person he was talking to. But they never had a conversation saying they were in a relationship. She felt like they were in a relationship because they stopped using protection. She was like, I wouldn't do that with anyone other than my man. And he was like, and then when he found out that like she felt like they were in a relationship, he was like, nah, we talk. And she was like, no, we're either in a relationship or I'm done with you. And he was like, "You can be done with me," and that's what happened because he didn't want to be in a relationship with her. So I say all that to say the activities don't make the difference. It's where you at here with it, and that's why we got to talk.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, we just talk.
That happens all the time, though.
Yeah, it really
That happens all the time. You can't assume
Somebody
it.
just got told they just talked.
No, you definitely got to be clear.
Yeah, you got to talk about it. You cannot just assume that.
No, no.
Every 45 seconds, a guy is telling a girl, "You're not even my girl, though."
That's messed up.
45.
But yet he will have sex with her. One of the most intimate things that you can do with somebody.
Man, there's people out here having sex with everyone.
Yeah,
So
Unfortunate.
that's how it is.
Now, let me ask a question. I know it's not on the agenda, but is it possible for young people to have relationships and not be intimate sexually, to be with someone that you're dating and that you care about, or you're getting to know and you're developing feelings, that the sex always have to come into the picture, especially if you are trying to, be, a Christian, not wearing it loosely, but really trying to live the life of the Lord. Is it something that young people even consider,
it depends on the young person.
Yeah, it depends. It is
Just like any generation, it's a person by person, case by case thing. Like
That's
there are some. I got some homies
myself.
Yeah.
who are like. I got some homies who are like,
Gary, come on.
if we not having sex, I'm having sex with somebody. And then I got some homies who are willing to wait, and then I got some people who are dedicated to waiting. It just depends on the person.
But it's not impossible at all.
Definitely not impossible. That's like the whole male best friend, female best friend thing. Like, it's definitely possible.
Mad doable.
friends with benefits.
But the statistics.
Nah, not that. Best friends, like actual best friends, like actual people being friends. You know how like usually people don't like their significant other having a best friend of the opposite sex because usually they're close with the best friend and like it just seems like they have a, kind of seems like they have a romantic chemistry, but they don't because they're just friends. A lot of times people that's kind of what I was just comparing it to. Not friends with benefits.
That's true.
Very, very, very true.
Word.
It's not just us. It's not just us.
Adults are weird.
It's not just y'all, but we talking as y'all talking for the youth. So I'm speaking to y'all. Of course, it's not just you. You got grown men in the 40s, 50s, 60s out here doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Going
For
crazy.
sure.
And they're quitting. So
As the homie Big Juice once said, my favorite thing to do after smashing is delete her number,
oh my God.
He's like a super old. He's this person not on Twitter, and he like said that, and he's old as dirt. Not dirt, but he's old. So it's universal. You know what I mean? But another question that kind of not question, but I guess point that comes along with talking about the talking stage is basically once you get to the point where the talking stage is over and you're ready to move into a relationship, and say the person that you're talking to isn't, but you've now dedicated so much time to them, do you wait for them to be ready for that relationship, or do you cut your losses and hit the road, Jack?
It depends on two things. Do I have the conversation and they tell me this, or am I just assuming it?
Nah, they straight up, you like, I'm ready to be in a relationship, and they like, I'm not.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
After that, like after I show that I want to be with you, I will give it 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 week notice. 2 week notice.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I found myself in this position many times. It's either I will like a lot of people at the same time, and a lot of people at the same time will like me, and I can't choose, or I choose one and I fail. So I've realized, you just gotta be smart. You know what I'm saying? Just see the flags, pay attention because they're there. Don't ignore it. And so I'm going to continue to treat you the way I want to treat you. But I feel like, what is it gonna take? Because if I spend a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then in the end of it, after those 3 months, you're like, you know what? I really don't want to be in a relationship with you at all. I just wasted that time. So it's like, if something doesn't change around pretty quick, I don't think that things will change. That's just how I feel. People want to do what they want to do. So if you want me to be here, you'll express that.
Mm-hmm. Make that known.
So you say that you when you with someone, either you like them or you give them a certain amount of time, or it ends up failing.
Nah.
Why do you
What? Huh?
say what you said again?
I'm saying if I express to you that I want to be in a relationship, and during that conversation you express to me that you like me, but you don't like me enough to be in a relationship with me at the time.
Okay.
I said I'm giving it 2 weeks because of the fact that it could be something going on in that person's life, and they have to figure out whether do I really want to be with this person during this time. Can they help me? This, that, and the third, stuff like that. So if that's the case and it's not that time, then it's not that time. You know what I'm saying? And there could be somebody who the time is, it lines up. So it's not that big.
Okay. So can you see what your mother put up on the screen?
Yeah.
Well, he already know that.
Okay.
That's just the mother talking. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just a mother talking.
Baby,
It's not
So
wrong.
we got,
Those is mother words.
First of all I was saying.
sometimes we have to also see, what it is possibly that what we're contributing to, see what it is, if it's a pattern that's being repeated, in that failure area, what possibly, we can examine.
Where's failure coming from?
Examine. I think y'all took what I said wrong.
Where is the word failure?
I'm saying that the attempts failed. Obviously, to this conclusion a very long time ago. Obviously, it wasn't me, and I realized that a good month later. Most of the time, I see who it was, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. All right, cool.
I'm fine though. As you can see, look at me shining.
All right.
what if they remain friends?
Somebody has a question. Somebody want to read that?
I'll read it since my name's in it. What if they want to remain friends? Is that okay with you? Here's my thing about that. If we were friends before we started talking, dating, whatever, if we had that established for a good amount of time, then yes. If my whole intention in bagging you was to be with you, and the whole time I'm spending with you is with those feelings, I can't regress once I realize that it's not reciprocated. Like I can't go to being your friend because I'm always feel that way. So yes and no. Depends on the circumstance.
Definitely. I agree with that. It depends.
Retweet.
I can't go back to something that I'm not familiar with in the first place.
Break it down.
Well, that's a wonderful place to really take this conversation and kind of shift it to our other conversation of focus, and that is on boundaries, because boundaries is a major point of contention. So, I'm gonna read the little blurb and then we're gonna dive straight in, right? Now, see, many times our generation is accused of being entitled and selfish. Now, that is something that manifests itself in the world of dating. Oftentimes, people can feel like the time, attention, energy, and bodies of their significant others are owed to them. However, we all have our personal boundaries in all areas. So, my fellow YSO team, do you personally feel like when you're dealing with someone romantically, you will have to sacrifice or compromise some of your boundaries?
I wouldn't say boundaries. I wouldn't say I have to sacrifice and compromise my boundaries. I will have to sacrifice and compromise, but not my boundaries. Like,
why not boundaries? What makes the boundaries, I guess, the elusive space where you don't have to do that in your relationship?
Well, I feel like having boundaries in relationships is what keeps relationships. You have to be able to set a good parameter of good and don't. You know what I'm saying? In order for both of you guys to coexist with each other, because nobody is 100% okay with how somebody else is. There's something you're just gonna. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just something. Whether it's the way they walk, whether it's the way they breathe, how they eat their cereal, it doesn't matter. Something's gonna like something. You're gonna find something, and you're spending the rest of your life with this person. So say if I'm working.
I'm sorry.
And you kind of don't understand that, like for me, let me use my life as an example. I'm gonna be a producer, engineer, artist. So say if I'm on a tour or something, me and Emmanuel are on a tour, and somebody. You might be working. I don't know, bro. This is a hypothetical story.
I'm gonna be working.
This is a hypothetical story. It doesn't matter. Christian's there too. So we're on the tour bus, and somebody calls me angry at the fact that I haven't texted them since 6 a.m. or something like that. And it's just like, I've been working, making money for the house that you sleep in. Sorry that I say it like that, but like, there's bigger issues than just focusing on stuff like that. Like your boundaries is what sets apart, I feel like a lot of times it really is what stops a lot of issues before happening. If I know you don't like me touching certain stuff, say if you like makeup, if I know you don't like me touching it at all, I don't care if it's sprawled out in the bathroom and I clean it up a little bit, you still mad. If that's what you don't like, I'm not gonna do it. And then those are just little things, but it can get, big. It can get very big. If you're dating an artist and you somehow, some way mess up a painting that's drying, that's money, sir. And I spent time on that. Don't mess up what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Boundaries is what sets apart of you and your partner's best interests. That's that gray area that, like, if you told somebody else about it, they would probably be like, I don't see why, she would be upset about, her favorite marble collection. It's like, it's the principle of the situations. It doesn't really matter the circumstance. It's usually the principle. So boundaries are one of those things that we gotta, going into, let people know. Like, okay, sometimes some things are rare, like you're not going to experience it until you're with that person for an extended amount of time. So the things that you can address them. And then as things go, that's a part of the growth process. You're like, oh, okay, I noticed this. Let me say how I feel about it. And then, we move forward amicably.
So to answer the question, I do not think that you should have to sacrifice your boundaries, but you could possibly compromise them or compromise with some of them if they're like extreme. And then with the communication of them, I think that if you guys can have an open line of communication and speak freely without somebody feeling attacked or without somebody feeling like you're or taking it personally, whatever it is you're saying, or you taking personally whatever your significant other is saying. And I feel like that is a healthy communication about the boundaries that you guys are going to set between each other, like what makes you upset about that person or what about you makes that person upset. And boundaries are non-negotiable. Oh, I had to come back to that one. We're gonna come back to that one.
Man,
Ashton,
what happened to my
tap us into that. The bun.
I know personally, I don't have that many like super big boundaries. I think my biggest one is just like the boundary of when people meet my family, specifically my sisters, just because I'm protective of them. So like if somebody is like, I'm ready to meet your family, or I feel like it's that time and I'm not ready yet, and you try to push me, because I've had that happen before, then it's like, no, I don't like that. I think I think you just have to respect people's space. People are particular about certain things, and it's not my place or their place to question why we're particular about certain things in our personal lives. You just accept it, you talk about it, and if you can't accept it, then you got to get on.
Keep it moving.
Oh, interesting. I guess to answer the question myself, I was always under the impression that it may not be the factor that you should or will have to, but that if you're gonna be in a relationship, there's gonna end up being a point where you either sacrifice or compromise boundaries. I was always under that impression because that's all I really ever saw and like understood. And I didn't really like know, I don't know, like for me, I just didn't know if certain things are worth it, right? So like I can speak from personal experience that I've had certain boundaries that maybe people I've been with have been adamant about like overstepping. And they, in doing that, they kind of like, there's a way that they can make it feel very small and like not a big deal, even though it's a big deal to you. And usually in situations like that, I just like bite the bullet and like just, because it's like you're clearly committed to crossing this boundary. And I don't like, I feel stupid when people ask why you broke up with someone if I say something that sounds stupid. You know, like, I don't know if any of the viewers or you guys have seen the movie Step Brothers, but there's a rule in the movie Step Brothers, like don't touch his drum set, right? Now that was one of his boundaries. And if he was in a relationship and, you know, you come home one day and she touched your drum set, and then people ask why you guys broke up, he's like, because she touched my drum set. That sounds stupid to the average person, and I usually hate things like that. So even if it's something that's a boundary for me, if I feel like it seems trivial, then I sacrifice or compromise it. I don't think you should have to, but that's just what I've always done. I'm not gonna lie, the tail of the tape. And I agree with you, Christian, stepping into that next question of how you should communicate your boundaries to your significant other. Hopefully your relationship has a flow of open, honest communication. And if you have that, then there really you shouldn't ever feel nervous or weary or feel like you have to tread lightly about communicating how you feel to your partner. And I think that if you're asking yourself, how do I tell them this? That then shows that there are greater communication issues between the two of you that you should probably start working towards. And sometimes it can be all on their end. Like I know people who are like, they feel open, but their partner like hates talking about particular things or serious things, sad things. A good example is a friend of mine who was like, her boyfriend was like depressed clinically. And so he didn't like if she would try to talk about things that are sad. Like, I'm already always dealing with my depression. I don't want to have conversations with you that are sad. But sometimes she wanted to talk about things that are sad. So whenever she did, she would end up talking to me and I'd be like, dude, this kind of feels like cheating. You need to start telling your boyfriend. It didn't matter. And that's all because of bad communication, kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And so I mean, you kind of started to dive into it, Christian. That last question for all of us, YSO team, if you're willing to share, we're not trying to, make you get on the soapbox in the hot seat if it's too, triggering. But we like a family here at YSO. So what are the boundaries for you personally that are non-negotiable? No matter what, under no circumstance can this person encroach upon that. And if they do, it's over. It don't matter if you're together 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years. They step over that line. If you communicated it, it's donezo. If you have it.
Okay. Like I said, like pushing to meet my family too early. If you're trying to pressure me to have sex with you and I'm not ready yet, or I just don't want to, those are like the two biggest ones. Anything else, like it's just like whatever. I'm cool. I don't know what I said, especially the sex. That's like if you try to push me just like a tiny bit, you're done.
Even a tiny push.
It feels real rapey, and I'm not trying to. No, I don't like that.
Come on, girl. She said we ain't having it.
Yeah, YSO do not endorse rape, sexual assault, or sexual coercions of any kind.
Of any kind.
So retweet.
I can't say it on here, but just know yeah.
Your verse 7 days.
What's y'all boundaries? Y'all gonna share?
Something that like
I don't know if I even have it.
if you put the toilet tissue over instead of
You know what? You know what?
let me see. Boundaries. Don't like. This is gonna something I probably would have to be like adamant about. Just don't touch my equipment. Like play with it. Like don't do that. Like that's.
Oh my God.
Really?
Built it over a long period of time. If someone would break, I would be highly upset, and anybody would. Aside from that, don't go through my things. Just don't do that. Like I'm not gonna hide anything from you. If you have something you want to ask me, ask me. As far as my phone goes, like I don't really care if you go through my phone because of the fact that if I'm with you, I'm not hiding anything. So if you see something, you're not. If you go through my phone, you're gonna see something that makes you upset, regardless. So I know I'm not texting women trying to get them acting like I don't have a girlfriend right here. So I don't have to be afraid of anything. Not, but that's my only boundaries. Don't mess with equipment that I buy that has to do with my life passion, and don't.
Let's touch his equipment. That's funny.
Man, shout out to our usual in-studio sponsors. You know what I mean?
Fact.
We usually come in studio. This week we had some travel difficulties, so we came remote. But shout out to the sponsors.
Shout out to the Thomases.
Yes.
Naquana and Sean Thomas, and let's add Mike's LLC. They are this podcast is powered by Let's Add Mike's LLC. Naquana, Sean and Naquana Thomas. Thank you. We love y'all.
I didn't even know they had that.
In the trend of people not buying women
Bags for LLCs because they're cheaper. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But boundaries. Wow.
I don't think it's LLC. No.
Don't buy you an LLC.
Why not?
The heck? I can do that myself.
Okay.
Buy the bag yourself.
I don't even want the bag. Don't buy the LLC. I'm not gonna feel special.
Okay, I wish
if you're investing in your future and your dreams and business,
What if he came up with the name himself? What if I don't like it?
that's ridiculous. You should definitely ask her what the name should be. You should.
No, but they don't be doing that though.
So you gotta like trick her. You gotta be like, if you had a business,
Yeah, like
what would it be?
Yeah.
What if I don't even want a business that bad? And
That's usually what you get, and it's like, but you know, if you did though.
no.
Non-negotiable boundaries for me, I think I only have two that I can think of. I had one before, but I ended up sacrificing it. Because, like I said, I thought that you just have to end up doing that. So it's no longer non-negotiable because I let it go. I still don't like it. It's still a boundary, but it's not non-negotiable. I have two that I can think of off the top of my head. The first is, and this is gonna probably sound weird, but do not call me or address me as my middle name. Everyone in my life who knows me, who knows it, knows not to call me it. Don't full name me, thinking that, like, you know, sometimes for emphasis, like, don't do that either.
Okay.
Because don't. And leave that there. That's one for me. And then another one is going through my phone behind my back, or go like Andrew said, just going through my stuff on my back, because I'm such an open book. Not only would I let you go through my phone, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you're gonna find in every app you're gonna open. Like, I tell you what that is, and you know what I mean. That's just the level of honesty that I'm gonna have. Like, if you ask, then I'm a forfeit that information, because I would hope that it would be the same thing. So if you feel like you need to sneak in my phone, that's a problem, especially because everybody knows the rule. If you go through somebody's phone, no matter what, you're gonna find something to make you mad.
Yeah.
They should be out there in their best behavior, doing everything by the letter and by the book, but because you worked yourself up to go in their phone, you're gonna find something to come back mad about. And then if they are doing everything the right way, and you come back on some bull talking about some, why isn't this person blocked? What? Ooh. Are we talking? It's just, you know what I'm saying? So putting my phone behind my back, that's ridiculous. I used to also have don't call me outside my name, like in a disrespectful way, but now I don't really care about that no more, because whatever you calling me, I'm not. Because I'm really thinking about two particular words that most men feel a way about, the B word and the P word. And I'm neither one of those. So if you call me, you're just being ridiculous. It'd be like calling me Caucasian. Like, you're wrong. So,
Right about it, to be honest.
So.
I'm just kidding.
I'll fight your brothers though.
Yeah, I'll kill your brother. Ooh, Jesus.
Oh, another boundary. This has almost happened. Not with a person I was in a relationship with, but because of someone's relationship. This is a big one. Do not threaten me physically, especially with a male person. I've been in the room while a girl called her brother, telling him to come over there to beat up my homie that I was in the room with them with. And brother, I was like, I can't believe that I didn't drive here, and I don't know what I'm about to do. I ever compromise my health like that, like in an intentional, threatening manner? I said, yeah, those are my three bugaboos. You do that.
Let me ask y'all a question. Wait, before you go, Christian, I'm glad Emmanuel touched on don't call him outside his name, because I had that question for y'all. Is anybody going to say that a deal breaker is disrespect, abuse, abuse in any form, not just physical, mental, emotional, financial, sexual, spiritual, psychological, verbal, whatever the form is that, because I know a lot of relationships with young people today get to that degree. You start calling each other all kind of stuff, and it's all good. But is that something that could be a deal breaker for him? Emmanuel just said that that's not a deal breaker for him anymore. But anything in relation to things like that, disrespecting you, embarrassing you in front of other people in public stuff, None of that kind of stuff is deal breakers for you guys?
One of mine was
Don't be talking to my ops, but that's
Nah,
a
that's like actual. But only there's when you call me out my name, if it's a pet name or something like that, of course I'm not gonna get upset. But if you the two words that he said, and if you call me like if you call me the N-word disrespectful, like there's a way to be disrespectful. If you call me that, I'm like during a and usually I don't argue. I'm not that animated anymore. I've gotten really, really in control of my emotions because they used to be in control of me when I was younger, and now they're not. So I know that I'm not gonna get worked up about multiples in most situations. So I'm gonna tell you. And so you really only have one time to really like when I hear boundaries, I'm hearing stuff that like I wasn't hearing deal breakers. When I hear boundaries, I'm like you're in a relationship and it's the things that like usually like you're nitpicky with. So deal breakers, that's different. Yes, if you disrespect me, you only got one time to do that. Depends on how you disrespect me. Like if it's something that like if it was a slip of the tongue, that's different than if you're like it's different. If it was censored and it sounded like the scene after Riley and them lost, if that's what it sounded like, if it was censored, we have an issue, because everybody watching this knows who my friends are. So yes, I can be both. I can go from
that's a fact though.
The severity of that statement.
There's like two different extremes.
I'm coming to you first, and the entire time I'm coming to you with facts. So you're gonna get the calm, cool, collected. Let me break this down to you. But if you get me there, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. Most people don't think I can be like that because I'm such a nice person. But it's like, bro, don't make me be mean. Because why are you waiting? Stop it. Put it down. But I'm just like, yeah. I would tell you to wait back.
But so we can get out of here. Just to piggyback on what everybody else said. One of mine is definitely don't curse at me because my own parents don't curse at me. So you're not finna just sit up here and curse in my face because it's like I can dip. You feel me? Like there's so many other fishes in the sea, and we just gonna leave it at that because my resume is looking pretty nice. But anyway, that's one of them. Definitely the disrespect. We're not gonna tolerate disrespect. You're not gonna call me outside of my name. I'm not gonna call you outside of you. Like we're adults. Can't we just talk? Like,
and you're not gonna disrespect my family.
Oh,
nobody in my family. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, I shoot about that. And I think that's all I'm thinking about right now. Catch me again next episode. I might have some more.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Manuel. I see you ready to say something.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, particularly towards the whole question of like disrespect and abuse in all of its forms. I don't really know. Like, I don't take disrespect well. And I'm the type of person where if I'm disrespected, you liable to get disrespected back, and probably worse than the disrespect you just did.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
So I think if someone disrespect me, by the time it's all said and done, they probably won't want to be with me. No.
We all just get along.
Me, my wazoo back is gonna have you like, I'm appalled, and I'm gonna be like, well, you should have kept it closed then.
I said that, bro. You took it there. I don't want you to not like me no more.
You feel me?
I can get that way if you want. If that's how you're coming, but you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to show that side of them because first of all, why does it exist? Because it's stupid people like you.
I will say, I will say though that I've definitely been in relationships where I've been like deliberately disrespected by someone's words or actions and stayed in it. So I can't say it's non-negotiable. because I've already negotiated on it. So, but I mean, I don't take it well.
I haven't been put in that position yet. Nobody has ever like.
Nobody should be disrespected, male or female. No
Don't
one should be.
steal from me. That's another one.
We'll say that again.
Don't steal from me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
if we
you-
never ask,
Kind of think of it like if
not just money either.
the
Hoodies.
ones that stay in the Bloods, all of them too. Because
If
that's
the person is stealing from you, 9 times out of 10, they done lied to you about some stuff too. Because if you lie, you steal.
What?
y'all two heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yo, what?
Yeah, nah, that's
Yo,
psycho.
you wow, bro.
To stay in, think about it. To stay in, like you gotta follow a code. You dig? Like
That is wild. Man, when we getting towards our time.
Yeah, we got to bring it home.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. We gonna go around with like final remarks. Just like a final kind of. It don't necessarily have to be encompassing on any of the things we talked about today. Then we gonna of course give our social medias, and then we gonna outro. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time, thank you for checking us out. Hope you'll come and join us again in 2 weeks. We go every other week, so in 2 weeks, Thursday, 7:30, we'll more than likely be back in studio. So you'll be back to getting that, full physical vibe, the mics, everything. And if you came and returned again, thank you for sticking it out with us. You know what I mean? Once the broadcast is over, you can rewatch on YouTube, and share it and all of that. We're gonna do final remarks. We're gonna give them socials, and then we're gonna slide.
you know where to find me at _skip to my shoe.
Getting final remarks.
Get into relationships with people who like you.
Ooh.
And you'll be okay.
How about I shake the room? That's a room shaker.
So for mine, it's if they don't want to play welcome to the party at your wedding, don't date them. It's that simple. Underscore CB03. My Twitter is at Coach_Buck03, and my Facebook is my first and last name. If you don't know it by now, Google me. Well, you can't Google me if you don't know it. But anyway, that's that's it.
Okay. For my young people who are dating, when you start talking to someone, ask God for a sign. And when you send a sign, don't pretend to be blind. Pay attention. If you
Preach, Ashton.
from your life, or take him out if they're not going to be good for you, listen to him the first time, or else you will definitely get yourself in trouble. But you guys can follow me on Instagram at Ashton Gates with 2 S's, and on Twitter at Ash Gets the News.
My final remarks is, you know what I mean? I'm single and I just got a job. So now I'm not only single, I'm single and not broke. So if you are in the age range of 20 to 55, and bro, bag chase. Okay. You are in the age range of 20 to 55, single or don't care that you're not, looking for a young, energetic, newly employed, young brother, you know what I mean? Then you can find me at Instagram at The Even Saint and at Lions_Emmanuel_. You can find me on Twitter at RIP Lions. Facebook is Emmanuel Lions. Like my Saint Even page. You can find all of my music wherever you stream and download music. Just search Saint Even, and the DMs is wide open. So,
You work at.
I really just. Oh, where do I work? I don't want to say that.
You might not want to say it on live.
Okay, we'll say it before we get out there.
I work in Atlanta. with a company called LJC Business Partners. You know, it's live. Salary money, you know what I mean? Don't talk to me.
Get your paycheck first. Get your paycheck.
You gonna
YSO Podcast. I'm your CEO, Amber Lyons. Thank you for being with us tonight. We are streaming on 6 digital platforms. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know, all them people. You can find us on Instagram at YSO Podcast. Please go follow us, help us build our numbers. You can also follow us on Twitter at YSO_podcasts. And we know that this is the voice of the youth. So connect with the voice of the youth. Please continue to share, do watch parties, you know, during the week. You can do like a watch party and have people watch along with you the broadcast that we're bringing to you. We want to thank everybody who tunes in every 2 weeks. To our new viewers, thank you all so much. And we really want to thank you for your engaging with us while we're on here and helping our team to be able to continue to have a great dialogue. So thank you. I'm Amber Lyons. You can find me on Instagram at Amber Lyons. You can find me on Facebook at Amber Ann Lyons, ANN, and From Pain to Purpose. You can find us on Instagram at From Pain to Purpose, on Twitter at Pain to Purpose, and YouTube. Please go ring the bell on our YouTube channel at From Pain to Purpose Inc., Inc. You got to put that. Also, our Healing Pain Through the Arts youth group is on, well, it's not youth group, but Healing Pain Through the Arts group on Facebook. Please go ring that bell. Well, not ring that bell, but join our group and keep up with the things that we have going on. We have so much going on. And I'm so delighted to announce that it was announced today that I have become an Atlanta member of the Atlanta chapter of the World Women Conference and Awards, which is a global organization. And I have been named the Domestic Violence and Youth Advocate for the Atlanta chapter, which is already giving us global exposure. I am so grateful for that. I thank God for Lakeisha James, who is over the Atlanta chapter, welcoming me in, and to Queen Wanda D. Hollis, who's also a part of it, and all the other people that are already connecting with me from Russia, from over in Europe, and all kind of different places all over. And even one of the founder reached out to me. I didn't get a chance to say anything back, but I'm going to reach back out to her. So I'm really grateful to be a part, and I'm looking forward to taking YSO to, we're on our way to reaching 1 million youth positively, and we got some great things in store for you guys. I'm just grateful to be able to work with y'all, and continue to follow us. We got t-shirts for sale. Please, I believe St. Even is wearing one of our t-shirts. Please reach out to us. Help us to raise funds for the things that we're doing. We'll be back in studio, they said, and we're working on a whole lot of different things for studio. So please help us. And you can go to our website at www.FromPainToPurpose.net, www.FromPainToPurpose.net, and you can find out all of the things that we're doing, and we're grateful. So, in our closing remarks tonight, our team has let you know how they feel about dating, some of the things that they discussed, talking versus dating, boundaries, all of those good things, and make sure you get your hugs in. Even if hugging yourself is not the same, but hug. Hug your family, hug your spouses, hug your mama, hug your dad, hug those in your home. Don't let days and days and weeks go by without getting that love and that energy. Yeah, I know. And you got somebody to hug. Okay, so we hope that you guys were blessed. Thank you for engaging with us tonight. Until next time, we want you guys to be safe. Please stay safe in the streets. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.
FYP Production.
She fell in love with the bad guy, but she loves my intentions. And nothing feels better than the moment we're sinning. No, nothing feels better than the moment we're kissing. I say I'll love her for forever, in the morning forget her. She was raised under money, growing up she couldn't see the poor. Save my number in her phone under me or more. Look me in my eyes and ask what I need her for. So in this game of life, she just might keep a score. And darkness is clouding my judgment. Marijuana clouds cause the loud is so pungent. But me, I haven't touched a drug since that tray of white. I live my life before the fight like I'm Dana White. The block is hot like that boy band with Nick Lachey. Hold my heart in your hands like a Fabergé. Precious. We was young, dumb, and reckless. Living like the devil couldn't catch us.